Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this beautiful Monday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, sports, and so much more. I'm your host, Glenora Shipura. Getting into the news tonight, Namibia steps up fight in financial crimes. Brian Aseb, director of the Financial Intelligence Center, FIC in Namibia, has cautioned about the evolving threats of money laundering, terrorism financing, and weapons proliferation, which calls upon government to up its game and bolstering its safety measures. Aseb was speaking at a training session supported by the European Union that focused on strategic collaborations to bolster law enforcement capabilities in analyzing complex financial data for effective criminal investigations and prosecutions. Let us spare no effort to bring to book those individuals who launders money and believe they can benefit from their crimes at the expense of society at large. Those involved in drug dealings, poaching, corruption, and other forms of crime. We must consolidate our efforts amongst state agencies, the private sector, and international partners to disrupt financial crime. We must use all tools available in our criminal justice arsenal to identify proceeds of financial crimes and intervene on these proceeds so that we demonstrate that crime does not pay, he said. Now, during the week-long training that will run until Friday, the 12th of July, participants from diverse sectors will acquire vital skills in financial data analysis, aiming to translate knowledge into tangible outcomes that strengthen Namibia's AML framework. Aseb further stressed the importance of upskilling analysts and prosecutors to sustain efforts against financial crimes, reinforcing Namibia's commitment to a secure global financial environment free from illicit activities. He also urged for collective efforts among state agencies, the private sector, and international partners to disrupt financial crimes comprehensively. He called for unwavering dedication to uphold integrity and accountability, ensuring that financial criminals face justice and do not profit at society's expense. Getting into our next story, a recent report has revealed that Namibia plans to adopt Oman's model for its burgeoning green hydrogen industry, which involves mandating state participation in all projects. The model, which ensures that the government holds a 5% to 20% equity stake in green hydrogen projects up to the final investment decision, provides a robust framework that Namibia finds worth emulating, the report read. From the Namibian government's perspective, this model is worth pursuing. NAMCO could play a role in this regard. The report was compiled upon completion of a study tour by Belgian authorities. One of its key focus areas was developing an understanding of how to build fit-for-purpose and enabling policies and regulatory frameworks that will facilitate the implementation of economically viable projects in the field of green hydrogen and its derivatives. According to the report, Belgian authorities encourage the development of hydrogen projects through subsidies and other legislative initiatives. Namibia can draw lessons from this exemplary practice and implement it accordingly. Namibia should strive to ensure policy, regulatory, and legislative certainty in the different stages of the green hydrogen value chain. Ongoing consultative discussions between Namibian and Belgian authorities will be essential to gain insights into potential hazards that Namibia should be cautious about. Where required, the country should also benchmark with other countries like Morocco and Chile to gain insights on their implementation methodologies in the absence of legislation. The report further pointed out that hydrogen is highly reactive and flammable, posing significant environmental risk, necessitating stringent fit-for-purpose regulatory requirements and thorough risk assessments for its safe production, storage, transportation, and distribution. Finance Minister Ipumbu Shimi says the government will have to identify new engines of growth to drive the Namibian economy, as traditional engines of growth, the agricultural and tourism sectors, will not be sufficient to drive future economic expansion. Shimi made the remarks at the recently concluded Public Enterprise CEO Forum. We cannot rely on the old engines of growth. They are going to give us strength, but not enough to employ the people we need to employ, because that is one of our challenges, Shimi said, of traditional economic sectors on which Namibia is reliant on. Now, according to Shimi, it was necessary for Namibia to now identify new as mineral beneficiation and the manufacture of chemicals as possible industries to venture into. We have identified opportunities in mineral beneficiation, but also in the production of things like chemicals, the production of pipes. NamWater uses a lot of pipes, and some of these pipes can be produced in Namibia. We need to work together to identify the constraints and work on them, he said. The economy was starting to observe growth once again, Shimi noted. The economy has started to improve. The older engines of growth, mining is doing much better. Tourism has improved, and that has got knock-on effects on other sectors, and we're starting to see some positive outcomes in the construction sector, although still moderate, he said. The Bank of Namibia, in a recent economic growth bulletin, noted that the domestic economy continued to grow, but at a slower pace during the first quarter of 2024, primarily due to weak performance in the primary and secondary industries. The economy registered a growth rate of 4.7% during the first quarter of 2024, down from the 5.3% growth recorded in the corresponding quarter of 2023. In the primary industry, the mining sector registered slower growth during the quarter under review, primarily due to weaker diamond production and a decline in uranium output despite robust growth in oil and gas exploration activities, the Bank of Namibia said. Now, the agriculture sector was sustained by the drought-induced marketing of cattle and small stock despite the adverse climate impact on crop production. Furthermore, activity in the secondary industry slowed and was dragged down by a decline in the manufacturing sector, mainly driven by a contraction in diamond processing, the central bank noted. In the last of our stories, on a rather sad note, a 2-month-old baby girl allegedly lost her life while sleeping in her alleged drunk mother's arms on Sunday at Shakumbu Inland Village in the Kavango East region. The deceased, identified as Makena Waltrod Muronga, was discovered in the early hours of the morning, lifeless and believed to have suffocated. The acting regional commander, Deputy Commissioner Eno Nambahu, confirmed the incident, which happened around 1 a.m. According to Nambahu, preliminary reports suggest that the infant's mother, Gau Nangura, had fallen asleep, potentially under the influence of alcohol, while breastfeeding her baby. It is further alleged that the boyfriend arrived home in the morning hours and found his girlfriend Nangura deep asleep with part of her arm on the baby's neck and her breast covering the mouth and nose, Nambahu said. It is believed that the mother was under the influence of alcohol at the time she went to bed, causing suffocation to her 2-month-old daughter in the feeding process. The boyfriend, Sikerte Muronga, said that he observed that the infant had discharged a white substance from her mouth, believed to be milk from breastfeeding, he said. Nambahu added that the police is conducting a thorough investigation to determine the exact cause of death. You can, of course, read more on these stories in tomorrow's Namibian Sun newspaper. On the other side of the break, we take a look at our entertainment news. To stay with Sunset News.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Getting into our entertainment news, on to some exciting news for Namibia. The 3 Namibians that represented Namibia at the World Championships of the Performing Arts in Los Angeles walked away with a total of 7 medals, 2 overall division champion titles, and 2 scholarships to the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts. Patricia Coetzee won 2 gold medals, 2 overall division champion titles, and a scholarship. Pelagia Zini won 1 gold, 3 bronze, and a scholarship, and Julian Schlieber won a bronze medal. The competition saw multiple countries competing, with the South African dance group walking away with a junior world championship title, and a Jamaican saxophone player walked away with the senior grand champion of the world title. Getting into our next story, the Miss Teen International 2024 final in India saw Namibia's Miss Teen Oriana Ribeiro securing second place. Here is what she had to say during the question round of 8 finalists.
Today, I stand before you all, a young Namibian lady who has made the top 8 of Miss Teen International. To me, success is when you have found contentment within yourself and within your life. I believe that you have reached the pinnacle of success when you are able to look at yourself and say, this is who I am, this is where I am, and I know where I'm going. So today I can tell you all that I am in fact already successful because I am content with who I am and where I'm going. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much.
Oriana has definitely made Namibians proud. After the break, we take a look at the business summit that took place over the weekend.
Tickets are now live. Watch Namibia versus Portugal live at the Dr. Hage Geingob Stadium on the 13th of July 2024 at 3 p.m. Save this number 085 785 6231 and WhatsApp #NRU to purchase your tickets online. Or simply scan the QR code.
Getting into our story of the day, the Business Summit Namibia officially kicked off last week Saturday, hosting an exhibition of entrepreneurs and a conference which aimed to motivate and educate industry professionals and future entrepreneurs. The founder, Martin Nankela of the Business Summit Namibia, had this to say.
It's more about this business summit.
The Business Summit, this is really just a platform where we are inviting entrepreneurs, SMEs, MSMEs, startups to come, have a conversation around entrepreneurship, have a conversation around scaling, and the importance of what entrepreneurship really can do, for the economy. So we want businesses to scale. We don't want side hustles, but we want to see people pull themselves through entrepreneurship.
Maybe we just go with us. How did this business summit started, and how is it now?
Well, it started in COVID. A lot of people were losing their jobs, losing their livelihoods. So we thought maybe we could use this opportunity to, encourage people to start businesses, and those with small businesses to really scale their businesses. And as they scale their businesses, they're able to employ more people. So that's really where it started from. We wanted to just do it just once. There was appetite for it, there was capacity for it, so we kept doing it, and now we are on the fourth one.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe personally just describe how this business summit benefited communities and business owners.
Well, we'll be doing a lot of post-evaluation after every summit. We wanted to understand the impact that we've done and made in people's lives, and the reviews have been great. Many businesses have been started from here. We've got a few exhibitors that started their businesses, just after last year. So we've encouraged a few people to start their businesses, and those we've just, keeping their businesses small, we encourage them to scale. And so we are encouraged to keep doing what we're doing and keep giving the people the information that they require to make their businesses more formidable.
Maybe what word would you tell individuals that are out there that want to be part of the business summit?
We are everywhere on social media. If you Google us, the Business Summit Namibia, we are out there. We are looking to, you'll see we have a lot of sponsors coming on board. We are looking to collaborate with all industry players and see how we can better come together and have more impact in Namibia.
What would you say the Business Summit is? What would you say is the word? What would you say?
Moving on to our economic news, South Africa's Energy Ministry plans to secure funding approval soon for a 2,500 megawatts nuclear power plant. We expand on this after the break.
Entries are now open for the Republican Bridal Couple of the Year competition. Couples married between 1 March and 31 May 2024 have until 31 July of this year to enter the first round of the Republican Bridal Couple of the Year competition. One of the top 10 couples will be chosen from this pool to participate in the final, taking place in May 2025. To better your chance of reaching the final, enter now. To enter, simply WhatsApp #Bridal2025 to 085 785 6231 and follow the on-screen instructions, or scan this QR code.
News: South Africa's Energy Ministry plans to secure funding approval soon for a 2,500 megawatts nuclear power plant in its efforts to increase electricity generation capacity, the Sunday Times reported. Work has reached an advanced stage and a team is working on a deal and finalizing the procurement structure for the project, Energy and Electricity Minister Kogisentsho Ramakokpa told the newspaper. Ramakokpa hopes that National Treasury will sign off on the plan by next month. A site is yet to be confirmed and various technical details are still being ironed out. The proposed power station would be bigger than the Koeberg plant north of Cape Town, which is South Africa's only nuclear power plant and generates 1,940 megawatts of energy. The latest nuclear technology is very rapid to deploy, relatively cheaper and more efficient. Ramakokpa told the newspaper, "We must resolve the issue of who will operate the plant, but I think I can say before we even conclude that it will be Eskom, as Eskom has the experience having done that at Koeberg. Eskom has struggled for years to adequately supply electricity to South Africans from its aging fleet of generation facilities, with problems exacerbated by mismanagement and corruption. South Africa has been load shedding free for over 100 days, the longest period of uninterrupted power supply in years." All right, that concludes our economic news. Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.22, against the euro at 19.63, against the US dollar at 18.11, to Namibian dollars and 49 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, all the major commodities went down, with Brent crude oil trading at 0.92%, going for $86 and 52 cents per barrel. A children's hospital has been seriously damaged in the Ukrainian capital Kyiv by Russian strikes. After the break, we tackle these in our international news.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Getting into our international news, a children's hospital has been seriously damaged in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, by Russian strikes, as at least 24 people were killed across the country in an early morning barrage. At least 10 people were killed in Kyiv by the rare daytime attack, including 2 who died at the Okhmaded Children's Hospital, which sustained major damage during the blast. The head of the military administration in the central Ukrainian city of Kryvyi Rih said at least 10 people had been killed there, with 3 more killed in the eastern town of Perovsk and 1 in Dnipro. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is visiting Poland, where he is expected to sign a security pact, said Russia must face consequences for its attacks on civilians. Different cities, Kyiv, Dnipro, Kryvyi Rih, Slovyansk, Kramatorsk, more than 40 missiles of various types, residential buildings, infrastructure, and a children's hospital were damaged, Mr. Zelensky said. Lesia Lestesia, a doctor at the Okhmaded Children's Hospital, told the BBC the moment the missile struck was like in a film with a big light, then an awful sound. One part of the hospital was destroyed, and there was a fire in another. It's really very damaged, maybe 60 to 70% of the hospital, she said. Now, pictures from the scene showed young children, some with IV drips, sitting outside the hospital as it was evacuated. Dr. Lestesia said Okhmaded is a big hospital which carries out many functions, including cancer treatment and organ transplants. Now we're in the process of evacuating patients to the nearest hospital, but many patients are intubated and on ventilators and cannot have contact with other patients or go outside, she said. In the hours after the initial strike, another explosion rocked the area nearby and hundreds of people took shelter in an underpass. Mr. Zelensky said in a social media post that people were trapped under the rubble of the hospital. Right now, everyone is helping to clear the rubble, doctors and ordinary people, the president wrote. Vitaly Klitschko, Kyiv's mayor, told the Reuters news agency from the hospital that the bombardment was one of the worst attacks on the capital since the start of the war. The State of Emergency Service of Ukraine posted on social media that a maternity unit in Kyiv had also been partially destroyed by falling debris, killing 4 people and wounding 3. That concludes our international news. Let's take a look at our weather predictions for tomorrow. Katima Mulilo can expect sunny weather conditions with a minimum of 6 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. Vento can expect a minimum of 5 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius with sunny weather conditions. Rehoboth can expect a minimum of 2 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. Oranjemund can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius, while Henties Bay can expect a minimum of 10 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius. On the other side of these, Ari Hohat will be bringing us the sports news.
Good day, everyone. Time for international sports news, and starting off with cycling news first. Tour de France, that's got a rest day on Monday, and already 9 stages that's done. It is still Tadej Pogačar that is the leader. What happened on the 3rd stage is exciting. They call it the gravel stage. They're on the gravel roads at some stages of that stage, and it was Anthony Turgis of France that won the stage. It was a sprint till the end, and it was his first ever win of the Tour de France Tour, and it was in 2nd place Thomas Pidcock, and it was a close win for Turgis, but well done on his first win. It is a rest day, like I said, on Monday. On a Tuesday, it will be a flat stage. It will be from Orleans to Saint-Armand, and it will be 187 kilometers on Wednesday. It will again be a difficult mountain stage for the Tour de France that continues. On to Wimbledon. It is week 2 of Wimbledon, and the news from the women's section is that many of the top seeds are out of the tournament, and it is still round of 16 games played on the women's side of the draw. It is the highest seed in the tournament, number 4, Elena Rybakina. She will play against Anna Kaliskaya. She is the 17th seed. That's in round of 16th, and it is also good news for Julia Putintseva. She beat the number 1 seed, Iga Swiatek, earlier on the weekend, and she will now play the 13th seed, Yelena Ostapenko. It is Julia Putintseva that is unseeded in the tournament. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is golf news. It is from the men's PGA in America. It is the John Deere Classic that was concluded, and the winner there was Davis Thompson. He's a 25-year-old from America, and he won on a total of 28 under par. He closed with a round of 64, that is 7 under par, and he was 4 shots better than C.T. Pan, one of the players, on 24 under par. Good news for Davis Thompson. It's his first PGA Tour, but he also secured a debut entrance into the British Open. That's the next major on the men's calendar tour, and that will be from the 18th to the 21st of July. That will be played at Royal Troon. Also good news for C.T. Pan with his second place, a joint second place. He had the higher ranking on the world ranking, so he also qualified for the British Open. C.T. Pan is from Chinese Taipei, and his score was 24 under par for second place. Southern African interest, that was the only one South African that qualified or did make the cut. That was Dylan Fratelli, and Dylan Fratelli closed with a -9, or his score was -9 for the 4 rounds, 52nd overall. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Thank you for joining Sunset News on this beautiful Monday evening. Do remember that Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25, Monday to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I'm your host, Glenn Rashipura. Until next time.